Welcome everyone to the call. Go ahead while you're coming into this call right now and let me know what your highest drawdown was you had this week. Let me know what the max profit you made this week was, and tell me about your gearbox experience this week. Let me know what pairs the drawdown was on if you had any. Let me know what the profit was, what pairs, right? Come on and let's share what's going on and the different data. And I got to tell you, I've been seeing some amazing strategies lately being used by customers of Gearbox who are eliminating certain pairs or just raising a level range just a little bit, or just increasing a position size multiplier just a little bit, or decreasing a range one just a little bit, right? I've been seeing some really cool results from some customers, and I'm going to want to talk about some of it today because it's been pretty cool. So I am excited to share some of that. And I know that we've seen some different VPS issues this week, which has affected some people getting a lot of trades as well. I know that it also was a slow week as well. For many people, the markets have been kind of in this consolidated period on many of these pairs where they're not really getting the trending effect they need to for, say, sniper entries. So if you've been running sniper, chances are you probably haven't been seeing too many trades. If you've been running swing settings, chances are you maybe have gotten some trades. But I know that sniper has definitely been on the much slower side for brand new trades. Yeah. Mariska, same thing. NZD JPY and AUD JPY, those ones have been killers. Rob from Belgium says he has a 2.55% drawdown and 6.89% profit monthly with Gearbox. That's awesome, Rob. That's incredible. Robert said DD 10% Euro JPY, 4 gears. For sure, slow week. Nick Meyer said been some trades for a few days now. Swing, ghost plus real. Satish, we've been investigating some problems with the VPS provider. We've noticed that some people, it's very rare it happens, but we've noticed in a few examples. So our actual VPS team and engineers are looking into it currently, actually today. There's been an issue. If you see -1 and -1 on your charts, all of them, and there's not a single one ghost trading, but it was working previously. We've noticed some issues where when somebody changes the account they're logged into, that sometimes it's not allowing it to actually write the ghost trades to the ghost server. Very rare issue, but we have noticed it, and it is being investigated right now by our engineer team. Luke Block, no trades this week for me on Sniper Double TP. A couple of the USD pairs would have hit last night, but Wednesday gear upgrade had those missed the trigger point. Yep. Auto change on Wednesday is there for protection, but at the same time, some people move it to Thursday or Friday, and soon we're going to have all those features built in the Gearbox Manager. Now, before I get into sharing some actual physical results and visuals here, I want to read this risk disclosure to all of you. Trading the foreign exchange market carries a high level of risk, and it may not be suitable for all investors. Trading in margin and utilizing leverage can carry an even higher level of risk that can lead to a complete loss of investment funds. Before deciding to trade the foreign exchange market or use any of our software alerts products, you should carefully and diligently consider your personal investment objectives, level of experience, and risk tolerance. There's a possibility you could potentially sustain significant loss. You should not invest or trade any capital that you cannot afford to lose. It is your responsibility to be aware of and understand all risks associated with foreign exchange trading and to seek professional advice from an independent certified financial advisor if you do have any doubts. Auvoria Prime LLC does not exercise trading authority over your trade. You and you alone exercise discretionary trading authority. And if you are sharing any results from using Gearbox, which is only allowed in our designated Facebook groups, please do not use the term company recommended settings. Auvoria Prime does not have any recommended settings. Auvoria Prime is not a financial advisory firm. Auvoria Prime licenses software that users can use however they want at their own risk and discretion. Gearbox does come without the box settings upon initial setup, which customers have the ability to customize their settings however they want. Auvoria Prime has nothing to do with the customer's broker account. They do not solicit or take investments. No brokers are recommended. Again, Auvoria Prime just licenses software and sells amazing education users can learn and potentially benefit from. Any settings I'm sharing are developer settings and not company recommended settings. This call is for educational purposes only. All right, so with that being said, I want to get right into it, and let me go ahead and talk about some of this one pair data that we've had. Obviously, we saw some of the struggle pairs. For many, AUD USD did swing back on my larger accounts and make me some money. Some are still stuck in it. The $500 accounts hit some stops because they were running swing, and swing entered early. We've since in the manager increased the entries for these pairs, AUD JPY, AUD USD, and NZD JPY, as well as some of the other ones. But if you continue to look, this week, we took some hits with AUD JPY, it seems, on this $500 account. And you can see today, though, we're up 2.19% and still on the month, even with that hit. Between all these $500 accounts running, I'm up 17%, which is pretty cool to still see between all these pairs. And we're not even running all of them here. We are still running some USD ones. USD has definitely stabilized out a bit, but there's still news that scares me with the USD pairs for why I've been sticking away from having customers run them. And some of those reasons are how much money the US government's printed in this last year. If you haven't looked into that, you know that we printed more money this year than any other year. And once inflation catches up, I feel like there's going to be some big moves and gaps and different things. So I've just kind of stayed away from the uneasiness of the current US dollar and the situation surrounding the political schemes and everything that's kind of going on in regards to said US dollar. And if you want to trade it, you can. For me, I'm just, kind of sticking clear of them in the current moment. Everyone can use it if you see. I know some of you said, hey, USD pairs would have hit big this week. So if you've been using it, I see Miles said he held a USD CAD trade for less than a day yesterday. So, I mean, there's people doing it and having success. I'm obviously running it on my smaller accounts for data, but on my larger accounts, I've been really just sticking to trying to eliminate any USD pairs from running in the current time. Matt Jess said, on Sniper, not any open trades and froze MT4. It's never good if the MT4 freezes. As long as it doesn't fully crash, they're typically good. I have an AUD CHF trade for almost a week, and AUD and ZD CHF pairs are hanging out. Yeah, so it looks like some people are, in that phase where they're in the trades that are going to swing and make them the profit. That's one of the fun things about Gearbox, right, is when you end up in these trades, sometimes you can end up in them for a few days, a day, a week. Now, I'll tell you, there's a group that is sticking to only using 8 pairs. They've been sticking to not running any trending pairs. They've been sticking to really just running pairs that range or get into some consolidation. And they've been having massive success. I mean, I'm going to show you one of the MyFX books of one of these customers today. And like I said, I'm not going to go, I can share the pairs. I think he does do a little decrease in his initial level range. He uses sniper mode and stuff like that. But there's people killing it, just doing a little bit different things, just trying to increase their entries. And I'll show some calculator stuff with that today too. Tony said, not too many alerts this week. VPS acting really weird. Open trade at wrong lot size, but started the week really well. And a really good one on GBP and ZD right now. Called this morning, account over 125% in profits. Wow. So Tony's loving Gearbox. He's up 125% since getting access to this product. That's pretty cool. Satish said he had that problem where he changed the account from demo to real, and he now has -1. So yeah, like I said, our VPS company is investigating that right now. The engineers, they have video examples and VPSs to look at, so they can figure out what's causing it to not. And some brokers, I've actually only seen it on one specific broker, and I don't mention brokers on these calls, but the issue that we're seeing is actually on only one specific broker, and we've seen it on a few instances. So we are investigating. Super Sniper yielded 0 trades for the past 2 weeks. Yeah, Super Sniper, there's definitely was no trade opportunities. So Tony said Super Sniper yielded no trades. This is Tony also is the one who said he had his account up 125%. So I'm guessing that account is not Super Sniper. But yeah, Super Sniper definitely yielding no trades. No trades for me this week. Any idea why? Well, as long as you see the ghost trades are running, you see the ghost trades on the UI. So when we talk about the UI, let's just get into a visual real quick. Let me pull up the VPS. Have to stop sharing my screen so you guys don't see any passwords. All right, we're back in. Let me share up. So this is my experimental accounts. I use these for more of my testing on AP Connect. One of them doesn't even have Gearbox open right now, but we'll go over here to the one that does. And when I say to look at ghost trades and things that are open, right, you're going to want to see that you see a display here where you see 3, or you see something higher than -1 and -1. If all of your charts say -1 and -1, there could be a problem. Most likely is a problem. If only a few of your charts say -1 and -1, but most of them are ghost trading, we are investigating that issue as well. That isn't a real issue. Most of the time, it's just the UI not displaying properly. But if all of them say -1 and -1, and you see it attempting to write ghost trades, but it's just going nonstop, what we've noticed recently is that it's having an issue writing them to that folder and having file access for some reason. So again, our VPS engineers are looking at it. We've only seen that issue happen on one specific broker. And we saw it happen on another product as well that doesn't even write to ghost trades, that it stopped it from writing some logs, and it was an interesting situation. So we're investigating. We'll figure out what's going on once our VPS engineers answer that one. But the main thing, like I said, if you're not getting any trades, but you're seeing ghost trades take, all right, you see a number higher than -1 on your charts, then it's working. The thing is, you may just not be getting an entry. And again, your time frame can affect that too. Some people run hour 1, hour 4 daily. I'm a big fan of the daily. This is my experimental account. I've been running the hour 1, trying to see how it does, and less pairs, as you see. But all right, let's continue to read. Also, do you suggest keeping ghost trades over the weekend and not delete them overall? I'm going to tell you, Mohammed, why I like deleting them. Okay, now you can do whatever you want. There's some things to that feature. So I'm going to show you guys what we're talking about, what setting here. Okay, so you can see that you can delete ghost trades at the start of the week. First, if we do a software update, it is typically automatically going to delete the ghost trades by default. Anytime a new software update's pushed out or rebooted the VPS, things along those lines. Now, if you were to keep it on and we don't do updates, the reason I added this feature into Gearbox is because I saw that there are times that, for example, myself, I'm stuck in NZD JPY forever. Well, had I never gotten in that trade and I was never deleting ghost trades, I was eventually going to still end up in that trade because it was going to continue to finally eventually make it to my execution point. Whereas when you delete trades and start at the week, you're really looking to catch fast movements where you're typically always going to catch that faster retracement. So it means, to me, that feature means you're less likely to end up in a trending move without being able to get out. And that's why I added that feature to Gearbox, to have it delete at the start of the week. Now, obviously that limits how many trades you could get in. But again, the point of Gearbox is patience. You see the monthly returns people do with very little trades. If you have a week, you don't get a trade. If you have 2 weeks, you don't get a trade. I've been there. Maybe you might go down to swing for a week if you were experiencing that sniper. But the main thing is that you're finding the most precise trade opportunities when you're sticking to these strategies. And obviously for some of the trending pairs, we started to increase entries after November, such as NZD JPY and AUD USD. Some of these ones that, yeah, they can perform well, but when they trend, they trend. And on those, you just increase your entries and limit your chances of getting into them anyways. And that's really why we'd like to delete those at the start of the week. Ada said, hi, Tyler. This week I've reached an amazing goal. I've done 108.8%. Account started on 7th of December. Max drawdown was 11.8%. Ada, wow, that is absolutely incredible. Charles said he's still up 2.28% this week, better than a bank. Ken, 2.5% gain, 3% drawdown, 13 trades, swing, double take profit. Trades open for quite some time and hardly ever hit the TP goal. I like Gearbox. Mariska and Satish said, a client of mine happened to have several pairs of ghost gears and -1, send a ticket. Still didn't open first, not reached, no more pressed open. Ada, that, I don't know who gave you that answer. I'm going to look into that one. If you could even maybe forward that ticket back, because Gearbox always opens the first ghost trade. So I'm not sure if somebody in customer service said it did not make it to where it needed to open the first ghost trade. Yeah, no, there's no pips needed to open the first ghost trade. So yeah, definitely let me know who told you that one. Satish, I told you they're investigating it. Your issue is specific to one broker, and it has also happened on that same broker on an Einstein product as well, where it couldn't write logs. So we are investigating why that's happening. I have 2 software, one max 6 and max 10. Neither got a trade all week. Yep. Philip, like I said, as long as you're taking ghost trades, it's working. Some people remember getting on different ticks. A lot of people probably getting profits this week were in trades from the previous week. First time that's ever happened, he said. Yep, I know. There's definitely weeks where there's not as much movement, and that's why I'm going to talk about some of the other strategies today on this call. For those of you who are tuning in, that I see some customers having a lot of success with, and to me, they're not really very aggressive. They're not really doing anything too crazy, but they're getting some insane results. And I do want to share one of those strategies today that I see many customers that have been just killing it. They're actually out of Canada on one of our affiliates, Amy's team, and they've been killing it with Gearbox. So I'll share one of their MyFX books and tell you the pairs they're using. And really, like I said, they're not doing much different settings wise. And I'll show you that on a calculator because to me, it's not dangerous. It's not anything unsafe. I actually think it's very smart. I'm currently running in the daily time frame and I want to switch to H4 for next week. Does that mess with the current trades that I'll carry over to the next week? I'm looking to increase my risk. Miles, if you have open trades you're referring to, no, it will not mess with any open trades you carry over to the next week. If you're referring to ghost trades, of course, they'll reset when you change time frames. And also, I might be pushing out a update today with more stability to the performance update, which could also possibly help for some of the people that are getting -1 on some charts, right? The people are getting them on all charts. Again, that's a very edge case issue related to one broker we've seen in our VPS companies researching. I'm very new to this, so I need help understanding something happened. I had one trade that I approved early this morning. Not long after, I had several notifications went to approve, but there was nothing to approve. Let's hit something first. Okay, so Christine, it sounds like you should get with whoever got you started and take a look at your account. She says she approved a trade early this morning, not long after, had several notifications went to approve, but there was nothing to approve. So first, if you get notifications of trade approvals, but there's nothing there to approve, typically that has to do with a 6-hour expiration, meaning that these trades could have all came in during the London session or early, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. And if 6 hours goes by, Gearbox will eliminate the trades. As for the first DD notification about a 10% reach, that means that you're in 10% drawdown. Now, it takes a lot to get in 10% drawdown with Gearbox. So I'm not sure the size of your account, what trade you're in, but I would verify all your settings are correct and probably get back with your sponsor, because if you don't know what's going on and you're in 10% drawdown, chances are your settings might be more aggressive than they should be, or something maybe isn't set up properly, because you typically don't see that high drawdown very often. Omar said, when do we start getting our first trades? Just started yesterday. Omar, awesome. Everyone's Gearbox trades independently. And what I mean by independently is all the softwares take what are known as ghost trades. So we can cover this for everybody. And what a ghost trade is it's essentially going to be trading in a ghost server. So you can see buy one right here. This means that it's in a level 0 and a level 1 trade in what's known as the ghost server. And on this specific pair, I'm running here Euro AUD. I'm saying don't enter until a gear 5 or above in this case, because gear's above 4. So 5 entry before Wednesday or after Wednesday. Wait till gear 6 to enter. Now, you might be saying, well, what's a gear 6? So let's go take a look at it. So if we go over to this calculator, it's a very handy calculator. You might be saying, okay, well, what's a gear 6? Now, this is based on if you were to enter these trades instantly, what your drawdown would be. Again, we're skipping these levels, so ignore what you're going to see drawdown level-wise. We're really just looking to see the total pips here and the range. So running what settings you typically be running, you'd be waiting all the way, in this case, for a 207 pip move to happen, or after Wednesday, you'd be waiting for 300 pips on Euro AUD before you would even take a trade, is what we'd be looking at in that example. So it's called a ghost trade. So you're going to see all the different pairs you're running. It's going to be looking for a very precise entry before it ever gets into a trade, and really waiting that level. So it'll take this trade behind the scenes, behind the scenes, behind the scenes, behind the scenes. And then finally, these trades it'll actually put on your real account, which is, such a amazing feature for those of you who are using Gearbox or brand new. Again, this is called ghost trading, where you're not actually risking any of your capital to get into these trades at first until you actually get to an entry that makes sense for you to actually get into a trade. I'm reading more through the comments here, and then I'm getting to the Q&A. Peter said, in your opinion, how plug and play is Gearbox? Well, to be honest with you, how plug and play is Gearbox? I think it could be super plug and play, but of course, there's an education curve to making sure you're set up properly and really just tuning into these weekly calls. But I think if somebody can get set up properly and plug into these weekly calls, it's extremely plug and play. Raju said, when a trade is still open over the weekend and the ghost trades are cleared automatically over the weekend, does it affect the open trades the next week, or does the same logic still apply? No, you can hold trades over the weekend. It'll continue to run. Peter rephrased his question. In your opinion, how plug and play is Gearbox in comparison to Variable and Einstein? I think they're all going to be on a very similar level. I think that I'm continuing to work to make Gearbox even more plug and play than, you know, any product out there, because for me, I use this product in my own money. I have 60 plus accounts running of my own. And I like making things really easy for myself when I have a software update or things I need to push. And so I'm going to continue to advance the product to make it as easy as possible for every person in the retail space to use, but also something that an advanced trader can come in and see how powerful Gearbox is and what an insane tool it is, and really control their risk management strategies and really get some amazing entries. Tony said, I've seen in the journal that the system has issues connecting to my MT4, lose connection, has to reconnect. That would be a VPS support issue. I'd put in a VPS support ticket to review the logs and mention what you see, maybe take a screenshot to in that ticket. Hi, Tyler. This second week, I've only taken one trade, and twice the NZD USD chart has gone on its own to -1, -1. Okay, so the chart will go to -1 and -1 at some point. As long as it ends up getting past -1 and -1, then it's fine. Now, if it just gets stuck on -1 and -1, and it's just one chart or two charts, you know, again, that's a performance thing. We're working on that and stabilizing the performance update, because it's been an issue with all versions of Gearbox where some charts got stuck on -1 and -1, but it's been massively improved with the recent VPS RAM upgrade, as well as the recent Gearbox performance update, and continue to work to improve it as well. We also are working on some other VPS solutions to allow people to possibly have, you know, also some faster VPSs. So that's also in the works right now as well. How that will change functionality. I have customers looking to really increase their balance. Can you speak on how that'll change the functionality? So the functionality necessarily won't change. The only thing with a larger account versus a smaller account is you're typically going to need a larger retracement to get out of the market due to the position size multiplier. And why I say that is, let's say, for example, you're using a 0.01. I'm going to show you guys this. So a 0.01 is going to go to 0.02, 0.03, 0.04, and inherently it's actually riskier than the lot size multiplier it has, because it can't go 0.0115. It has to go to 0.02. Whereas say you have a larger account and you're using a larger lot size, let's just say a 0.10, for example, you can see this lot size in comparison to somebody who maybe had a 0.01 starting on $1,000 balance is actually like 80% smaller, right? Because it doesn't go 0.1, 0.2, which we wouldn't want it to anyways, because that'd be super high risk. But at the same time, in comparison to a small account, it actually is going to need a larger retracement to get out of the market. So what some users have been doing and seeing a lot of success with is they've actually been, you know, increasing this to about 1.2. And I've also seen some people on larger accounts putting this at 1.2. It does, like I said, increase a little risk, but at the same time, it also allows less of a retracement to be needed for people to get in and out of trades in some larger accounts. Now, we also are still working behind the scenes on a much safer option where we're going to add in a second multiplier for larger accounts. And we're really studying some math right now and actually working on that. My developer has some great ideas. So for now, it doesn't really matter. I continue to run these exact settings on my large account. Let's say this was a $10,000 balance though. You know, that's what I tend to stick to settings wise. And then just my gears above, I put where I want to enter depending on the pairs, whether it's level 4, 5, 3, 6. Robert Westerman said, Never had more than 2.5% drawdown. Well, Rob, man, you're crushing it. I'm glad. I was advised to only have max pairs trading set at 5. Should I raise this? No, I would not go over that either. I mean, 6 is the max, the max pairs I typically run. Yep, Philip, and that's what I was saying a few weeks back. Like you said, I had mentioned larger accounts needing deeper retracement to get out of trades, and that is true. And we are working on a second multiplier for that to make it easier for large accounts to get out with less retracement needed. That is being worked on. Yep, Eva said I'm in 3 currency pairs: NZD, JPY, CHF, JPY, and Euro, JPY. Guess there's not much to do. We'll wait for market to retrace. Patiently waiting. Yeah, those pairs, it was the JPY pairs and the USD pairs. They really they went for a run after the election. And first, actually during election week, we crushed it. Then the week after election week, with all the crazy political news, many of those pairs just started trending. And so it wasn't even election week. That was the bad week. It was the week after. And some people got stuck in some of those trades. I'm in AUD JPY and NZD JPY in one of my accounts as well. That's why we've increased entries in that manager, right? So we've talked about that, where these entries were increased on these pairs by 1. We increased these pairs by 2, and we even increased GBP NZD all the way up, right? Because GBP NZD, it's one of the real trending pairs. If we had to compare it to every single pair here, it trends the most. I mean, Euro AED's had some sketchy things in the past, but really GBP NZD on an average range trends the most. Where will you share the MyFX book link for the Canada strategy? I'd love to have the info. Yeah, so I'm gonna show you guys that Canada strategy. I'm gonna talk about it right now. Actually, once I get into some of these MyFX books, I'm gonna pull up many other customers' MyFX books that are using Gearbox that people have sent to me. If you're somebody like, I've seen some people in here like Tony Howard, man, you're up 100-something%. Get MyFX books connected. Shoot me your guys' MyFX books. I'd love to see them. I love collecting my FX books of customers winning with this product. Omar said, so ghost trading is basically training mode. How do I open the software? I just got it yesterday and my upline did everything for me. Yeah, Omar, I would get back with your sponsor, so they can better go through the software and make sure you're set up properly. If they set it up for you, chances are you're good to go. They probably verified everything, but I'm glad to have you on the call so you can start learning. I would dig through the EA Academy. If you guys don't know about the AP and EA Academy, definitely dig into the videos in your back office. There's so much amazing information on this product. Is this more of a manual tool or passively trading on your behalf? Eric, depends where you are in the world. If you're in the USA, you still have to approve the trade sequences. If you're international, it is one of those things where you can just come in weekly, set it how you want to set it, run your risk management, and let it do its thing. P. Pepper, does rebooting the VPS delete ghost trades? It absolutely does. Any tips on using Gearbox with FTMO? So Martin, FTMO has become such a popular topic for so many of you, and what I want to explain about this is FTMO and Gearbox will never work. There are other things like FTMO, other prop firms out there that Gearbox can work with. The reason specifically FTMO it won't work with, it could go through the training program and pass to get you funded, but Gearbox won't actually work on a funded FTMO account because most of the time Gearbox will hold trades through a weekend. I'm sure there's strategies to avoid holding trades through a weekend, but inherently there's going to be one of those weekends that you would have to close those trades as a loss. And, if you can make it profitable, absolutely. But you're going to want to look for a different prop firm similar to FTMO that will allow you to hold trades over a weekend. That's going to be best for Gearbox. Nick said larger accounts meaning 5K or higher. I'd say, Nick, the larger, the more it's going to need that retracement. So like 10, 20K and more. Philip said, where do we send you the MyFX book to? Philip, go ahead and shoot it. If you can find me on Telegram, Facebook, Instagram, anywhere. I'm not sure if you guys are on social medias, but shoot me those MyFX books. All right, don't bombard me with support questions there. Still send them support channels, but for those people crushing it, I'd love to see your MyFX books. Andy, I'm going through the Q&A. Andy said he noticed this week Gearbox are doing trailing stop loss. Can you, Andy, you should not see a trailing stop loss unless you're trading level 0 and 1. So I'm going to want to look at your account. I have not had that reported to me. The only levels that currently do a trailing stop loss are levels 0 and 1. So unless you are instant entry right now on Gearbox, meaning you're using gears above -1 or gears above 0, you should not necessarily be seeing trailing stop losses. So definitely going to jot down your name here in my notes and go take a look at your account in a little, because I want to just confirm that there are no trailing stops above levels 0 and 1, because we have not programmed that in yet. That is something to come later on. So I'm going to take a look at that. But yes, on level 0 and 1, it will have a trailing stop loss. But most of us don't trade that. All week I've seen what's there. Ronald, yep. Ronald said something we've been looking into. He said some pairs are fully scanning the ghost server, others are stuck. We're looking into that. What is the max back time the EA looks at number of open ghost trades? Anonymous attendee, I'm not sure I understand your question. The ghost trades, if they're there, it looks at them. If they're cleared, it doesn't. So I don't know what you mean by back time the EA looks for a number of open ghost trades. Is there a maximum account size for Gearbox? There's not a maximum account size for Gearbox, Norman. Norman, I'm gonna be honest, there's a customer, he's actually using a US regulated broker, so he can't hedge. Gearbox does have a hedging feature that, sometimes it does hedge. It's rare with the sniper swing strategy. We are working on a separate hedging engine for more aggressive users, but there is a user using a US regulated broker, super low leverage. He's running like some extremely conservative settings. I mean, like he's got something I heard like an $800,000 or $900,000 balance in there. And from my knowledge, he's trading it with like, settings for what would be typically a 100K account. So like a one lot, starting lot on like 800, 900,000. But he's still doing, from what I've been told, like 2 to 3% a month, very conservatively. So yeah, you can definitely, there's no maximum account size, I would say, for Gearbox. Does Gearbox use stop loss orders? It does. John P said, hi, I've also went from demo to live and my activity died. In the demo mode, I was doing 4% per week. When I went live, the activity dropped. Is there any way I can find out which broker this is happening with? John, if you shoot me a support ticket, say, please address Tyler. I went from demo to live and my activity stopped. I want to just make sure everything's working fine. I want to just investigate, make sure it's not happening on other brokers. And maybe it's just because, the past 2 weeks has been slow. And that could be a possibility. So I want to make sure, as long as your charts don't all say -1, John, then everything should be fine. But if you see all your charts say -1, then please submit me a support ticket and address Tyler to it, or say to send it to Gearbox support directly. Is this correct that we changed at weekend settings, ghost trades not deleted? I'm reading some more of these questions here. How is it calculated TP if we have 1 trade open, 2 open, or 3 open? So that varies depending on which take profit setting Matt Jazz. Lewis Scott said he did 0.7% for the week, 8% drawdown, so he's probably in a trending pair. When I have open trades over the weekend, I have to Gearbox reboot. Yes, it clears ghost trades. It does not affect open trades. People are asking for that risk calculator. Again, that risk calculator is kind of like a distributor-made tool. It's not approved by the company. It's something I just use more for education sometimes, but I will see if we can get it approved with compliance if it isn't already for sharing. All right, I'm reading through these questions and then we're going to get into some MyFX books here and talk about some different strategies some customers are using and having great success with. Let me just keep going through, see if there's anything. So, is anyone having a problem running 2 Gearbox accounts the same account? Only one account seems to get alerts to approve. Is there a glitch? Luis, there should not be a glitch. I would get with tech support and put in a support ticket on that one. Zen Trader, Dad, you on Telegram? We need your phone. Can't message you on Facebook. Won't allow me to send anything to you. Not sure how to get you my FX book link. Best place gonna be Instagram. I'm gonna put my Instagram in the chat box right now. If you guys aren't following me on IG, go ahead and follow me. Shoot me your my FX books. So that's the easiest way. But do not message me support ticket questions there because I barely respond to my Instagram messages as it is. But yes, send me your MyFX books there. I think I might have not sent it to everybody. All panelists and attendees. There we go. Okay, Mariska shared the calculator and said that is fully compliant. Well, there is a link in the Q&A. For those of you asking for the calculator, I'm going to put it in the chat box as well. Again, this calculator is based, like the drawdown figures and the numbers, if we go back to it, this is based on if you were entering on level 0. Again, remember when you are entering on the later levels, there's not a setting in here that calculates that and puts the proper lot size on level 3 or 4. So again, these figures aren't going to be fully accurate, but you can use this to kind of have a better understanding of your risk, right? For those more advanced users. But just know that it isn't, you know, it doesn't take into account what gear you're entering on or applying that proper starting lot size down there or the amount of pips. But yes, that calculator does exist, and I just put it also in the chat. All right, let me read through and see if there's anything else, or let's get into some more MyFX books and talk about some of the strategies somebody are using here. All right. Zen Trader said, when do you think the manager have options to update midweek, such as changing lot size and not? So first, there's two parts to the Zen Trader. So the manager is first going to soon have settings for every gearbox setting, meaning you're going to have the ability to have every, so where's my VPS? You're going to have every single gearbox setting here built into the manager soon. Now, that still isn't going to allow you to change midweek. The ability for it to not delete ghost trades is a more advanced feature. And actually what we're working on doing is getting the ghost trades to store in the memory, which means still if you reboot the VPS, it's going to clear. There's no way to get around that. But by having it store in the memory, it's less likely to clear on an EA reboot or a settings change. There's things we're working on for that, to have it store in RAM instead of actually writing into a notepad. So we will go ahead and keep letting you guys know as we release more gearbox updates. But we're ever advancing the product to suit all of our customers' needs and make sure that everyone's getting the best trading experience possible, right? Where we're constantly advancing and really just doing what the people request. And I think that's the goal of any great product. Oh, Matt Chess said he created a more accurate Excel calculator with what gear you're in. Matt Jazz, yeah, go ahead and send that to me as well. You got my Instagram. I just shared it in the chat here. So go ahead and shoot that to me. I'd love to see it. Somebody said the link didn't work for them for the calculator. Mariska, it seems maybe Brennan and them didn't pay for their SSL certificate. You have to just click visit the website anyways, even when it says it's not private, and you should be able to get to it. But yeah, it seems they didn't pay their SSL there. All right. Well, let's get into some MyFX books. So I've curated a bunch of MyFX books. This is why I like when you guys send me MyFX books, so we can even look at your results on some of the next calls and talk about them. If you guys have strategies that are working, I'd love to hear them. I'd love to see them. But I have a bunch of different MyFX books I've started to calculate and collect here, and I like to go through them. And we'll just start going through from the bottom up and click some of these and talk about them and see what we have going on. So let me go ahead and where's it? Click them. Go through one by one. So this is an aggressive one. It says, not necessarily sure what he's doing, but since December 27th, he's up 55%. Seems he's put some more money in here in deposits, which took his absolute gain down to 20. He has experienced a higher drawdown. Not really what I like to see, but profit factor still over 2. Any profit factor over 2 always is exciting for me. It means that it is less likely to blow an account. Anytime you see a profit factor below 2, sometimes it can cause concern to a lot of real traders who understand risk management. So I always like to see the profit factors over 2, right? That's one of my big things to look at. This was an account, I don't think it's running anymore. She actually ran it all through the beta, but I still wanted to show it. This was actually her just running AUD. It was one of the beta accounts and literally was only running the AUD pairs, like 3 of them, I believe. Maybe even only 2. Let's look at the history. No, I'm running a bunch of them actually, it seems. So running a bunch of AUD pair seems, AUD CHF, AUD CAD, AUD USD. Seems like those three were the trio. And was absolutely just crushing it. I believe they were doing gear entry 2 before Wednesday and 4 after. So they were still getting in a little early to some of them for my liking, meaning they were entering on a 2. So gears above 1, but then entering after 3 after Thursday. But results were pretty cool. So I like to show that stuff always. Let's continue to go through. I know this is a larger one here that's been running. Larger account, they've continued to add deposits to. Very conservative, as you can see. Lower drawdown, not looking to do too much monthly. They were doing a lot more, but they obviously have added some deposits, which has taken their absolute gain down, but they're still up $22,000 profit here. 6 profit factor, catching an average of 176 pips loss here. I mean, just some incredible MyFX books and results from people who are using this thing on larger capital. You see this account has $236,000 in it, right? So some just great results. We'll keep going through. This is an account as well. It's running very conservatively. He was just running USD pairs, but he actually stopped running this exact account after the, right going into election, kind of avoided it. Probably was a smarter decision since he was running only USD pairs, but was just crushing it on pure USD pairs. Oh, I see Tony Howard just shared a MyFX book link here. We're gonna have to add this to my notepad here. There we go. 141%. Obviously, you've added some money, so it's taking your absolute gain down. But wow, no, actually, the absolute gain should still, yeah, that's incredible with Drum 25. Man, you're crushing it. 111 trades. I like that. I'm a 111 guy, so profit factor is great, winning and killing it. I see you are using Hugo's way. I like them. Be careful with them with EAs. They do B book. I'm not sure if you're familiar with A book and B book, but maybe you want to research that, especially as your account continues to get into a lot of profit. B books don't tend to like when you make a lot of money, especially with an EA. Manual trading a bit different, harder to manipulate. Zen Trader here, we send off. All right, wow, look at that. That's another incredible one, right? We're getting some new MyFX books in the chat. Profit factor is looking great. These are big things I love to see. Not a lot of trades since November, only 71 trades. So for those people who are using the MAV version, remember, you're not really getting a lot of approvals. When you look at some of this data, all right, that's 71 trades. Let's say there's an average of 3 trades in the sequence. If you were using the MAV version, chances are, you've approved 30 trades in 3 months, right? Like 10 trades a month, or 10 trade sequences, I should say. So again, a lot of people need to understand Gearbox is a patience game. Zen said he started with 40K, just added another 116,000 last week. Yeah, so that explains the absolute gain here. 37% is what he's actually up. 10% is what he would be up if he had this balance from the start. So that's what absolute gain means, and gain. So gain is what the software has actually done. Absolute's what that profit looks like based on the balance currently. For those of you who are looking, we got some more MyFX books coming in. This is great. I love getting new MyFX books to share. Look at this one here. We have 48%. Absolute gains 26. So you've made some deposits as well since you started. I always like seeing this. You know why? It means that people trust the product more. You're putting in more money. You're liking what you're seeing. So that's always a good thing. Same thing, very little amount of trades, only 88 trades since November 7th. If you're using an MAV version, like I said, you've probably approved 30, 35 trade sequences. Great profit factor, average wins bigger than average loss, always a good thing to see. It's a great portfolio. Look at this one. We got Ms. B up 20 or 70% since September. Awesome. So I'm guessing this account probably started here with, it looks like based on the drawdown, started with Alexander and Einstein. And then, quickly got into Gearbox, and you see the drawdown tended to be a little bit tighter when you got away there. So pretty cool to see. I'm guessing right around here's where started with the Gearbox, probably closed some Einstein trades and went Gearbox on. So results look great. Very exciting to see that, and to know that if we did a custom analyst, this is always cool. If you're ever wanting to really see what your stats are in Gearbox, say you switched from another product, for this user, it looks like November 4th or so is where they switched. So we'll say November 5th to now, and their actual drawdown and their actual gain is 41 now, with only an 8% drawdown. Pretty cool. So you can actually see what the real analytics are based on that specific product. So awesome results there. Love to see that. That is pretty cool. And I see we got one more. Somebody just shared here. I love it. We're getting, wow, look at these results you guys are getting. So this is all Gearbox I can see. You know, I'm not sure, Kundik, what you're doing here, what strategy, results, but I mean, your drawdown is tight as it can go on the equity side with the gains you're having here. You know, 66% since October, absolute gains 44, so you've added a little bit of money. I know that it is a smaller balance, which is really cool to see as well. I love. Ken said, Tyler, my profit factor is way high. Weird, not weird, Ken. It means you're crushing it. You see, I've seen a time where my account once had a profit factor of 140, and I was like, man, this software is the best thing since sliced bread. So this profit factor right here, you see, is 21. That's it's incredible. And the small balance, you can see, I love seeing it work on small balances, right? They deposited 690 euros in this account. So that's really cool to see. And let's get into some more of the ones I have saved. You know, I started clicking all the ones you guys started sharing in the chat. Let me check the Q&A. Anyone else have any in the Q&A they've been sharing? I don't see anything else in the Q&A. No more in the Q&A for me. Oh, I see a few more just shared here. We got one more. Nelton. All right, let's check it out. Okay, you got into some high drawdown. Was this Gearbox right here? Or, I mean, regardless, you came back from it, but looks like you took a big loss at some point here and then came back. But I'm not sure what was going on from there to there to there. And then what happened in January, because that is a big drop. Not sure what you're doing. Profit factor is definitely under 2 on this one, you know, 43 trades, still profitable, most of them. I'm curious, what happened in January though? What was that big loss, right? I always like to go look at history and see what's going on here. What were those losing trades? Wow, those are some big ones. GBP NZD. Oh yeah, nice stop losses. All right, we got some more My FX books getting shared every second in here. You guys are building arsenal. I can't look at yours, Devonzo. It's not public. You gotta make it public first. So I'm not sure if you know how to do that, but definitely get it public. Okay, Nelton said he went manual and made some mistakes. So the loss was not from Gearbox. Nice to know, Nelton. But nice to see that Gearbox was able to make back your manual trades losses. That's that's always a good thing, right? Here's another account crushing it, 103%, 43% absolute gain. So they've added some money. Definitely got into some higher drawdown, but no matter what, they're out of the drawdown now. You see, they got out of that, and they're just crushing it, going along their way again. So I love to see that profit factor still above 2. Average win is still bigger than the average loss, even with the drawdown that was experienced. So to me, still looks like a great strategy. I love it. All right, Andy. Yeah, Nelson said he's very happy with Gearbox. Oh, I'm happy you're happy with Gearbox. All right, let's look at this. We got this one here from Andy. Andy, this looks great. You know, I see you've added some big deposit recently. Let's see where you added that right here. It looks like you added big deposit in right here. Nice. So you've added 2 big deposits since you started. You're up 8%, going super conservative, tiny drawdown. It's a great strategy. Your profit factor is through the roof. Yep. And your profitability, 93% of trades. You've already caught 1,000 pips. Your average win's bigger than your average loss, and very little trades, but super conservative. You know, that's what I love about Gearbox. You really have the power to control how you want to run this thing. These are some great customer results you guys have shared with me today, and I'm glad other people are getting to see these results. It's always cool to see what are other people experiencing with Gearbox, what's going on. And We'll keep clicking through a few more of these accounts. Here's one of my accounts as well that I've been running. You can see it just closed a trade pretty recently again. And it's a $10,000 account. It's only experienced a 13% drawdown. Monthly it's doing about 8.4%. For me, that's my goal. I look to do 8% a month on large capital. That's how I feel. That's really my risk tolerance. Yeah, there's people hitting it out of the park doing way more, but this one's great. I like my profit factor. This is a swing account, as you noticed as well. So it does get into a little more trades, taking about 136. A lot of profitable pips, over 6,000 profitable pips. So very nice, very, very happy with it. I'm reading through Q&A here. Seeing if there's any more questions. If there's a question you guys have asked, but I haven't answered it, go ahead and throw it back into the chat. And Zen, all the accounts I personally run are Ghost plus Real. You know, I know that's a big part to tell you. I see we got another MyFX book here. We've been getting some MyFX books. Wow, look at this one. All right, so this obviously is Alexander and Einstein, I can imagine. But let's see, where did we release Gearbox? Looks like they closed out those trades, and yep, November 4th as well, switched to Gearbox. So let's do a custom analyst on this account, and let's take a look at since November 4th. All right, so we're gonna get into November. All right, we'll go to the 5th and analyze. All right, so since they started using Gearbox, they're up 104%, and they've only had a 19% drawdown. That's pretty awesome. Pretty freaking awesome. Only 181 trades, right? And yeah, so that's really cool to see. I love doing custom analysts because remember, Gearbox came out, you know, right at the beginning of November or so. So anytime you see a MyFX book older than that, it says it was running Gearbox, unless they were a beta tester. Typically it was, you know, another product being ran on it. Okay, Phillips said he actually started November 24th with Gearbox on this account. So nonetheless, let's go to the 24th and see how that changes changes the analytics we just saw. November 24th for this account was the start of Gearbox to now. And still 104%. So sounds like a plan. All right. All right, so I see a lot of people asking about profit factor. So we're just going to go ahead and read you the textbook definition here. The profit factor shows how many times the gross profit sum of all the winning trades exceeds the gross loss sum of all the losing trades. The higher the value, the better. So basically what this is saying is we win way more trades than we lose, and that the value and gross profit exceeds the gross loss. Anything under 2 for a lot of times for somebody who wants to use an EA, that tends to be a red flag for the strategy. It tends to show weakness in the strategy. And it's something I've dealt with up until making Gearbox. I've used EAs for the past 3 years that just never had a 2 profit factor. And my goal was to create something that did that plus more, and here we are. So I'm glad we've continued to do that. Now, I want to get into that strategy. I told many of you guys you've stayed on this call for a whole hour. I want to tell those of you who are staying on the call, let me find the MyFX book. I believe it's in here. Oh, I might have to message it to myself real quick. Give me a second. Oh, nope, it's right here. So this is somebody on my candidate team here, and this account's only been running a month, and they're up 46%. You can see they are using an A-book broker. That's always a good thing to see. Their profit factor is above 2. They've taken 133 trades. So they've taken a lot of trades in a month. Now, you might be asking, okay, well, what are they doing? So there's a few pairs they're trading, and I'm going to actually go ahead and tell you. And they're not really doing too much different in their settings. They're really just sticking to a few pairs. And I'm going to tell you what those pairs are right now. I'm going to pull up a notepad and tell you exactly what it is they're doing. We're going to look at a risk calculator so I can show you. So the first thing is they're sticking to a few pairs that don't trend too often. They're more, you know, for them, they would say consolidating pairs. They can trend occasionally, but they are mainly ranging pairs. Now, I have seen many of these pairs trend. But at the same time, the way they're running it, they have been absolutely crushing it. So what are they doing? They're using sniper settings, but they're decreasing their level range from 21 to 15. So we're going to take a look at what that does on the calculator. They're also decreasing their range multiplier from 1.35 to 1.2, and some of them have increased their lot multi from 1.15 to 1.2. So not the most aggressive things. They're still being very, what I would consider conservative. They're not doing anything too insane. Now, what I've noticed about the strategy is, okay, they're getting a bit of a sooner entry than sniper, but still a better entry than swing. All right, so they're basically playing in between swing and sniper, and then they're also decreasing their range multiplier, which gets them into another trade sooner, which increases their profit, because that typically a second trade in a sequence really increases your profitability on that trade. So they're also getting into that second level trade sooner, second level cost average sooner from their initial entry. And then they're also just increasing the lot multi just a tiny bit to get a little bit more lot size in there as well. And that strategy is what they're using now. I've seen them have my FX book after my FX book of results that look just like this. Yes, they get into a little bit more maybe drawdown than somebody who's pushing 10-12% a month, but at the same time, they've been absolutely killing it with this strategy. They're still getting a profit factor over 2. They are taking a little bit more trades, and I hope this example answers many questions for some of you guys. I see Nick says it answers a lot of questions. So that's what they've been doing, is they've just been playing in between. Now let's take a look at that calculator, right? We talked about the calculator. So how does this affect these numbers, right? So these are the traditional settings in how many pips, the markets move before you would enter a level 7. And let me just put max levels 12 here so we can see all of them. And we'll just put 1 here, right? I don't like to look at the red thing. So let's go ahead and let's play with those numbers. So let's say they change their range multiplier to 1.2. Let's say position size to 2. And let's say the starting level range to 15. Okay, how does that change some of these numbers? Well, yeah, it means that a level 4 is already getting in at, say, 81 pips, which previously might have been a level 3, right? So it's getting in a little bit sooner. As well, the lot sizes are going to be a little bit higher of an increase. And let's just play with a smaller account example for now and do a 0.01. But you can see that starting level range just gets them in sooner. Like a level 11 is now 479 pips. So if we went back and let's reflip this and flip these numbers. I want to just re-show us position size multiplier isn't as important. You see that previously level 7 got you 426 pips. All right, with their settings, yeah, level 11's already, basically that. So yes, it is getting in way sooner. Like for example, level 3 previously is 87 pips. In their example, that's a level 4. So you can see that it gets you into those initial levels a little sooner, but at the same time, it's still later than swing. So that's all they're doing, and they're just playing with those specific pairs, and they've been having a lot of success. Again, I'm not recommending anything. I'm just showing you data. When I see people that are doing things and they're having low drawdown and making big profits, I'm going to typically share it, right? Now, that doesn't mean go throw those settings on your live account tomorrow. Maybe get another license, play with a demo account, test it out, right? Test any strategy on demo before you ever just go and throw live money blindly at it, right? That's always something to do. And with that being said, I'm going to look and see if we have any more questions going on here. And let me read through. Let's see. I'm using Ghost plus Real. I understand that the EA exits after in profit based on cost averaging. How do you define in profit? Break even? But well, when using Ghost plus Real GD, let's use it this way. Let's say you enter a level 4 trade. Okay. Even though you don't have any of these trades open, Ghost plus Real is going to calculate based on what it needs to get out of all these trades in profit. So even though you only have that level 4 trade open, Ghost plus Real is going to calculate, okay, if I close levels 0 and 1 in a loss, how much profit do I need to make on 4, 3, and 2 to balance that all out? And even though you don't have 3 and 2 open, 4 is going to go for that number. It's going to calculate it just based on that. And then if you're using double TP, it's going to go for 60 pips on the first real trade. And if you're using Ghost plus Real, it's going to go for 30 pips on the first real trade. All right, let me keep reading through here. Why it's best to delete ghost trades. Ghost plus rooming software. Yep, Mariska answered it. Yeah, Zen, on the Canadian settings, it's Sniper. That's what they're using. Show notepads again, please. Okay, let me pull this back up. So this is what they were using on that account that, you know, they did almost 50% this month. Pretty incredible. And all their team is running these. These are some guys that came in and they just started studying my data and started looking at different pairs and playing around. And they've been having a lot of success with this. Now, again, like I said, don't go trading this on your live account immediately. Test it on demo for a month, get another license if you need to. But you know, they are having a lot of success with this strategy. Just understand the risk, play with the calculator. Don't go in there doing anything you don't want to do. And remember, the name of the game is preserve your capital and make money for a long time, not a lot of money quickly. But again, like I said, this isn't, they're not doing anything too dangerous. It is, it does, you know, increase your potential to get into a lot more trades and your potential to get into a riskier time sooner. But they've been having a lot of success with it. So, you know, data doesn't lie. All right. Well, it looks like somebody wants to see the MyFX book one more time on that strategy that they're using. So yep, here's the account. As I mentioned, they are using the A-Book broker. Please make sure whenever you're looking to do anything that might enter more trades or be more aggressive, you are using a STP A-Book broker, and straight through processing does not always mean A-Book. There are many STP brokers that push you to B-Book liquidity. If you don't know what any of that means, get with your sponsor so that they can answer any questions you might have. But again, super awesome results that they've been getting with this. You can see their current drawdown right now is, you know, been on the higher side, right? They have, let's see, 5,000 here, and they are in currently, you know, floating 226. Not the worst, but, you know, it even looks like they have a manual trade or two in there. I don't think they've done that before, though. No, looks like there's some manuals in here, unless they're using it with Gearbox. But nonetheless, they are crushing it. This strategy is working very well. And those pairs, like I said, are great for that strategy. So, you know, keep it simple. Don't do anything too crazy. Play with a demo account, demo anything. And remember, soon we will have the updated Gearbox Manager, which will allow you, where is the VPS, which will allow you to have all the settings in the manager, meaning that for those people who really love to customize their settings, you will not have to individually do it on every single chart. You'll be able to go into the manager, plug your settings in, and hit your button, and it will apply to all your charts. So we're working on that rapidly right now and continue to advance everything. So with that being said, any other questions you guys have, let me know. Otherwise, we've been here for about an hour and 5 minutes, and I do know that we need to free the Zoom room for the next upcoming meetings. But with that being said, thank you guys all so much for tuning into the call, and I look forward to seeing you guys all in the next one.